Welcome to History's Mysterious Minds, the audio podcast that explores the strange, brilliant, and often unsettling figures who haunt the corners of our past. Each episode, we shine a light on a figure whose legacy lingers, not because of what we know, but because of what we still don't. From forgotten inventors to whispered legends, from cryptic wills to cursed monuments, we seek the stories that history couldn't quite bury. Today's tale isn't just about one woman. It's about a curse, a will, and a tomb in the heart of Florence that people still avoid to this day. This is the story of Baroness Elizabeth Demidoff, heiress, aristocrat, patron of the arts, and perhaps a soul who never found peace. Let's begin. Episode 4, The Baroness Demidoff Testament, A Curse in Marble and Gold. Elizabeth Alexandrovna Stroganova was born in 1779 into the Russian nobility, wealthy, cultured, and well-connected. She married into even greater fortune when she became the wife of Anatole Demidoff, a member of the Demidoff dynasty, one of Russia's richest families, famed for their mines, their palaces, and their decadence. The Demidoffs weren't just aristocrats, they were industrial royalty. Elizabeth lived a life of incredible privilege, lavish estates, art collections, political influence. But by all accounts, she was deeply unhappy. Her marriage was troubled, she was often ill, and she spent much of her later life travelling across Europe, quietly withdrawing from the circles of wealth and power that had once surrounded her. She died in Florence, Italy in 1818, and that should have been the end of her story. But it wasn't. Because in death, Baroness Demidoff became more famous than she had ever been in life, thanks to a will unlike any Europe had ever seen. According to legend, and yes, we must say legend because much of this survives through rumour and repetition, Elizabeth Demidoff left behind a bizarre clause in her will. It said that her enormous fortune, millions in gold, jewels and property, would be given to anyone who was willing to spend 365 days and 366 nights in her tomb, alone, no one entering, no one leaving, no light, no food brought in, just you and the Baroness, for 1 year. Now, whether or not this clause existed in legal form is still debated. Some claim the testament was lost. Others claim it was simply never honoured. But the story spread, quickly, because the tomb exists. It's real. It sits in the Cimitero delle Porte Sante, the Holy Doors Cemetery in Florence, and it's chilling. A massive neoclassical mausoleum of pale marble and cold grandeur, guarded by statues, surrounded by stone angels with unreadable expressions, and sealed tight. To this day, it's known as the Demidoff Mausoleum, and for 2 centuries it has drawn curious eyes, ghost hunters, and thrill seekers, none of whom have stayed for long. No one, as far as we know, has ever completed the Baroness's final challenge. But some have tried. According to local law, several brave or foolish souls attempted to claim the Demidoff fortune. Some fled after a single night. Some were never quite right again. And some reportedly disappeared entirely. Of course, there's no official record of this. No police files, no court records, just whispers and warnings. The caretakers of the cemetery often advise visitors not to linger, not to touch the tomb, and certainly not to knock, because it's said that sometimes, if you do, you might hear something knock back. So what do we make of the Baroness Demidoff story? Was she a grieving woman who wanted company in the afterlife? A cruel trickster testing the greed of mankind? Or just the invention of Gothic imaginations and Florentine folklore? There is one historical detail that adds weight to the mystery. Elizabeth Demidoff did leave behind a strange legacy. She willed large portions of her wealth to charitable causes. She funded hospitals and orphanages. She paid to preserve monuments, fund libraries, and protect the poor. And yet, why the persistent rumour of the Tomb Challenge? Perhaps she knew that gold alone doesn't make a legacy, that if you want to live forever, you need more than a fortune. You need a story. And maybe, just maybe, Elizabeth Demidoff found a way to turn her tomb into one. To this day, no treasure has ever been recovered from the Demidoff tomb. No confirmed clause has surfaced in her will. No one has claimed the prize. And yet, the legend endures. A mausoleum carved in silence, waiting. As if daring the living to enter, 1 year, one person, one unimaginable fortune. But at what cost? Thank you for joining me on this journey into one of history's mysterious minds. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow, like, or subscribe wherever you're listening, and leave a review to help others discover the strange, eerie stories that history refused to seal away. Have a legend, a mystery, or an overlooked figure you'd like us to explore? Send it our way. We're always searching for the next story hiding in the shadows. Until next time, stay curious, and don't stop asking questions, because some legacies are built on riches, and others on whispers and mystery.